Being an entrepreneur is tough. Being an entrepreneur with a relationship can even be rougher. I get letters like this all the time, but I'm going to go through this one because I have a feeling there's a lot of people going through this. I'm going to leave his name out of it, and I'll just start at the beginning. I know you don't normally give out personal advice, but I don't have anyone to talk to that would understand it like you would. I am now on my third girlfriend since starting on this path. This one I'm currently living with and my obsession with this business is causing major problems in our relationship. Not one woman I have been with understands why I'm doing this. Every single one of them thinks because I'm working for myself that I don't have a real job. They all thought I am just trying to delay the inevitable. They think because I don't go somewhere to clock in and out and get a paycheck on Friday that I'm pursuing a hobby. I don't think there's anyone in my life that believes what I'm doing is really working. The current girlfriend doesn't understand the money comes in spurts. She gets pissed because there's never any extra money to do things with. I'm having to pay the bills with most of the money I make, and it seems there's never enough when it comes auction time. I've been forced to go to auctions with $150 to $350 in my pocket. I went to an auction today, and if I had $1,000 in my pocket, I could have scored several sweet units that were slammed from the rooter to the tutor. One unit that was slammed from the room to the tuner went for $750 that was full of antique furniture and about 75 or 80 big moving boxes stacked to the roof of a 10 by 20 unit. I can't seem to win regardless of how hard I work. I've lost my relationship with my brother, two of my lifelong friends, and now it seems my third girlfriend in 2 years. What do I do? Am I just too obsessed with making my business a success? How do I get the ones I love the most to understand what is involved? I don't want to keep losing love when they're struggling to get by. I know this ain't part of the course you laid out for us, but I need some honest advice. They all think because of the time, they think because most of the time I don't have two nickels to rub together, I should just give up and get a real job. But I just can't. I have made up my mind when I first started watching videos 2 years ago that I'm going to do this. And if that hair lip the Pope, I feel like the emotional whipping post for everyone around me most of the time. The only times I'm truly happy is when I'm digging through a unit. I need help like only you know how to dish out. Tell me the truth what I should do. Please and thanks, one of your faithful Spartans. Okay, I know this problem intimately. Went through the same shit. Now I'm going to tell you something that's going to flip your wig. I went through the same shit when I was making 2 to 3 times more money than the chicks I were with. One, I lived a very understated life. They didn't know how much money I was making. So we live in a world where there are people who are slowly coming around to, if you work for yourself, you make money online, it's a real occupation. But there are many people that are addicted to, I go to work, I take lunch, I get a paycheck every Friday or every 2 weeks, and they can't see it. My own mother, for 6 years, I remember when I told her, I said, Mom, I'm an entrepreneur, I got my own business. Her exact words to me. So what you're telling me is you don't have a job. This job narrative is deep. There is nothing you can do to convince them. They're going to stick there. The only way that I'm going to tell you another story in a minute. The only way that you're not going to get flack if you become mega successful. Not pay your bills, have a decent house, have a decent car, money in the bank successful. That ain't enough. You will have to become over the top. You're on the Today Show. You're on news shows. You might be on Letterman successful for them to go, so he really is doing something. This is my advice to you. Fuck them. Okay? Number one, fuck them. This is the conversation you need to have with your girlfriend. And I'm going to dig into you in a minute. But first of all, you need, because the thing is, you've been doing this. She knew what you were doing for what she got with you. So you can't bitch about a man's occupation and money when you knew what the deal was from jump. Number two, you may have to cut her loose for 2 reasons. Your money will go up and your sanity. I know it sucks. You may need to be alone for a year or two. I went through that shit for 2 years. Just me, and every now and then I get a little pussy. That was about it. That was my life. You might need to just get rid of her, block out the family, work 80, 90, 100 hours a week on your business, do nothing else. And then when you have gotten to a certain level, then the noise will be quiet for a minute. It'll always be there. Let me just get this straight. You're always going to hear this. Okay? You're always going to hear this. I'll tell you, I was dating someone who I went to her house to pick her up in my BMW. She came to my place, which is more pointed, more nicely decorated, more expensive furniture than her place. And this woman, over the course of our dating life, asked me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you write books? So that's how you're making a living? Really? Dude, get over it. It's not going away. We have people that cannot see past their own perspective. I go to work. And also, there's another thing. Jealousy. If you're making decent money and you don't have to punch a clock and you don't have to deal with corporate bullshit and you're dating someone that does, there's a lot of jealousy. And they will just discount what you do or ask you to do favors in the middle of the day because it's like, it ain't like you have a real job. So my advice to you from the top, have a heart-to-heart conversation with her today. Y'all living together and you paying bills. If the lights ain't cut out, there's food in her belly. I don't know the percentages of what she's contributing, whatever. But if the essentials are done, hey, tell her, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do better. I can't give you a date. If you want to stay, stay. If you don't, you need to leave. Because that emotional bullshit you're going through with her is distracting from your business. You're not being as successful as you can be because you're dealing with a lot of emotional bullshit with her. This is my rule. Any woman I date is supporting Team G. If you're not supporting Team G, fuck you. You will not be on the team. I don't care how pretty you are. I don't care how good your pussy is. I gives a fuck. Because I know at the end of the day, if you're not supporting me, it's going to hurt me. And I've had to let some bad chicks go because of it. Because the thing is, you get to a certain point, you realize that the people who support you, who will be your friends, they will step up. They may have doubts about you, but they still will be in your corner. And from what I'm hearing, you don't have that. You don't have that. And also, I don't know what you've done before, because typically when people are looking at you like you ain't shit, you fucked up somewhere. Straight up. Hey, let's just be unvarnished. You fucked up. In 97, 98, 99, I was a fucking scrub. I was worthless. I had entitlement mentality, and I was fucking up. So I don't know where you are in that conundrum, but actually, I don't know where you are with that fuck up continuum. But you have to stop fucking up. And after you have this heart-to-heart conversation, tell her, don't give you an answer immediately. Tell her to give you 3 or 4 days to think about it. And if she has to go, she has to leave immediately. She has to go. Now, if she goes, you're going to be hurt. I understand that. But you're not going to date another woman. You're not going to holler at another woman until you get your shit together. Because I'm about to let you in on the secret of all secrets. When you are really successful, pussy will find you. Pussy will hop into your car. Pussy will knock on your door. People will try to set you up with their daughters. So get that together. Get your business together. Work on your goals. Get all that stuff together and then get back out there and date. Also, get yourself in the gym. 30 minutes, 40 minutes a day, walking, running, lifting weights. Get you some kind of program together because you need something to help you with the stress. And just ball out on your business. Balls to the wall. Because if you put that type of effort, 80, 90 hours a week in your business, you have no choice but to be successful. Because essentially, if she goes, she's doing you a favor. Because you were getting rid of baggage. And understand, I said it before, yeah, you'll be hurt. I get that. But in the end, you will be better for it. Because the next time you get with a woman or get you a girlfriend, you're going to be in a much better situation. You're going to be in a totally different situation if you listen to me. And if she goes, dedicate yourself to your business for the next 6 months to the exclusion of everything else. Hey, if there's a family birthday party here and there, yeah, go to that. But right now, your job is working on your business and nothing else. Now, if she stays, there's some conditions. She has to help you with your eBay listings. You need to bring her in so she can see the process. Because once she is helping you and you explain and teach her some stuff, a magical thing's going to happen. You're going to start fucking more and your money's going to go up. Because now she's helping you do stuff. You've actually created efficiency in your business. That's very, very important. Like if you're going to have a relationship with somebody and they cannot stress you out to the point where it's detrimental to your business. You cannot deal with that. It's too rough out here. There's too much competition to have an enemy in your bed with a shank every night. And the shank I speak of is the mental, emotional shank that she's just stabbing in your head as you sleep. You ain't shit. You ain't doing enough. I'm unhappy. We don't have enough money. Blah, 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 blah. Get rid of her if she's not on your team. Understand, we as men have to make the determination of getting the appropriate women. If you're in a stage in your life where you just want pussy, let's be honest. The bar ain't that high. It ain't that high. Doesn't matter what she does. As long as she's sexy and makes your mushroom tip, as the Hodge brothers talk about, go north. That's all that's required. But if you're looking for some of substance, you're looking for some long term, she has to be on your team, understand what you are doing. And also the other part of that is you have got to man the fuck up like you've never manned up before. Because when you have the family, the girlfriends, everyone's just beating on you. It wears on you. I went through that shit not once, not twice. When I left the storage auction, when I got in the storage auction business, can you really make money with that? Blah, blah, blah. Everybody was that. Then, when it became really successful and I could go out and get BMWs and nice house and all this. Yeah. Then when I left that and to write books and do YouTube, oh, you're a dumbass. Really? You gonna leave that money to do this? What's wrong with you? Why can't you just be happy? If I was making the money that you were making, I would never, blah, blah. Fuck them. It's your fucking life. Understand that. They don't live in your skin. They don't breathe your oxygen. If they're not complimenting you, they need to fucking go. I have a small circle of real friends and I'm thankful for them. Because just because you know a lot of people, that doesn't mean it's going to benefit your life. So you got to make some real hard decisions here. Really, really hard. So that's my advice to you. Now, general broad advice, if you're an entrepreneur, and this is something I had to learn, and this is just what works for me. I do not date women as ambitious as I am. I don't do it. At one point, I thought that was the way to go because, they're doing their thing, I'm doing my thing. Power couple. It is a pain in the ass because you can't even go on a simple date because you got to synchronize calendars. I was dating this chick in town who lived 15 minutes away, didn't see her for 2 weeks because we were both busy. That didn't work for me. I just said, you're a wonderful person. And she really is. But I'm like, look, this ain't working for me. I have to find someone whose schedule isn't like mine so we can actually have time. And when I made that change, and that's why you see a lot of guys who are super successful with regular chicks. Because when you get with a power chick who has this career, these dreams, these ambitions, what do you mean? Well, I got this and that's just as important as blah, blah. I'm like, it doesn't work for me. And you know what? They're right. If they've got dreams and ambitions, I got a friend, I gave her this advice a year ago because, she's a hard-charging real estate person. And I said, find some dude less ambitious. And she was just mortified. See, you're looking for a dude like me. But see, dudes like me ain't looking at you, and it's not because she's gorgeous, she's smart, she's hardworking. It's a time issue for me. What's the point in being in a relationship with someone you never see? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. None at this juncture in my life. For some people, it's cool. So if you're an entrepreneur, get you a mate, a girlfriend who is not super ambitious. I'm not saying go out and get someone stupid. I'm not saying get someone who's slack. But A normal, regular woman is going to be a lot easier to deal with than when you're trying to deal with a super hottie, a power chick, or someone who's got big dreams and ambitions, because women are support systems. Whether, they want to be or not, that's their thing. I told a friend this a few years ago, and we started laughing. Women were designed to do things. They have to have some shit to do. If you don't give them some shit to do, they're going to make up some shit to do, and it's going to bother the fuck out of you. So in my world, in the G-verse, women that come into my life, they do stuff for me. Because I had to understand, when you are like a leader, you have to get comfortable with people doing shit for you. Which just kind of, coming from my humble beginnings, I wasn't really used to people just like, well, I'm going to do this and do. It's accepting your role. If you're going to be a leader, they're going to do shit for you. That's part of the deal. And I was weirded out by it for a long time. Because, I have, I said, recent years, very nice women in my life. Those older videos that I took down about dating, that shit was like, scrub days. But it was so horrible, I still was carrying those memories. And one day I just, look, that's not your life anymore. Let it go. It's not your life. It hasn't been your life for a long time. But when you go through those growing pains of being an entrepreneur where you're working, because, you're going to work hard. You're going to do 80-90% of the work before the money really comes in. And I remember I was on Peachtree Street. I had these nice rugs. And I'm having a check in my pocket for 7 G's. And these little chicks were laughing at me because I had the ragtag clothes on from working. And I was getting in a minivan, not a minivan, but the E250 with no air conditioning, sweating like a pig. But I had money on me and money in the bank and was going to make some more. But they were looking at me as I was some dirty, unworthy dude, because the truth of the matter is, the average woman doesn't really know how to truly judge a man. They have very superficial criteria. That's the reason that so many of them get played. If a dude is tall, he has nice teeth, he's decent body, and he can talk a good game and look a certain game and have a nice car, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for a lot of women. And then later on, they're like, what the fuck happened? So understand, as an entrepreneur, you have to handle your relationships totally different, because you work a lot, you put out a lot, and when you're dealing with someone who's in the matrix, they have a different philosophy. Like, I don't live for weekends, pretty much any day of the week, if I need to do something, I can take off and go do it. I don't have to wait until the weekend to do something. That is not most people. Most people, their reality is they're working 50, 80 hours a week, and then they got to run errands, go to the doctor and stuff on the weekends, because that's the only time they can fit it in. So you, as an entrepreneur, if you got some flexibility and you're dating someone who's in the matrix, you need to step up and help them any way you can. And then it's going to create more understanding. But seriously, if you're starting a business and you don't have a lot of experience and your learning curves like this, you might be better off not dating at all. Seriously, you just may not. You just may have to let it go. I know it sucks. I know shit gets lonely, but you may have to let that go, because, as I said in the video earlier, when you are truly successful, and I'm not talking about successful in your mind, I'm talking about when it's in your heart. When you walk in a room and people just know there's something about you. They just know. You could have on ragtag clothes. You could be looking a mess, but they were like, there's just something about that dude. You want that. And that comes from actually achieving shit. When I wrote my first book, I spin around in the basement of the chair like a little kid. Like, I wrote a book. It was a moment. It was an accomplishment. So when you start accomplishing things, not saying I'm going to do or this is in progress, but when you start saying that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. I've hit every goal that I wrote down for my publishing company. So I had to sit down and create new goals. Because when you start doing stuff and hitting targets, your confidence goes up. I was in the Flying Biscuit, looking like a hot freaking mess. I had worked out that day, something else, and I was hungry because the Flying Biscuit, the food is more healthy than other fast food establishments. So I go in there, and I'm just there, and it's the middle of the day, and there's not too many people in there, and then I'm sitting there, and then this wonderful woman comes in, and she's like business GQ down, and I'm like saying, I'm looking like, hooty hoo, but you know what? Like in those stupid Auto Trader commercials, my confidence came out, and I just started talking, and we went out. And it's just when you get that, that it's in your soul, and it's not. It's from the inside to the outside. You're like a beacon. You start drawing people to you. Folks just start coming to you. Folks start offering to do shit for you. So your whole problem is more so than a personality problem or a relationship problem. It's an accomplishment problem. And the biggest person that you have to impress is yourself. When you hit some of those goals that you set and you start knocking them out, your confidence will go up. I mean, you're gonna work your ass off, man. You're gonna work your ass off. I mean, you're about to bust a nut in a totally different manner, because it's about your worth, it's about your mental health, and it's about your life. You've got to take that shit more seriously than you've ever taken it before. I'm serious. You've got to elevate your mindset. I mean, higher. If your goal is to just do 2,000 a month, you need to crank that shit up to 10. It's like, okay, I'm doing 2. How do I get to 10? Not how do I get to 2,500? Not to 3. No, how do I get to 10? Because when you stretch your goals, you stretch your potential, you stretch your mind, and it forces you to think of stuff. Because if you're doing 2,000, you just got to do a few little tweaks to get to 2,500. But 10, you may have to reinvent your whole business model. You may have to start selling different products. It will force you to do different things by having bigger goals. And even if you don't make it, say you get 40, you get 56%, 6, that's 6 G's. You done triple your money and you're still striving for the 10. And I will tell you, like one of my sales managers told me, when I hit plan, he's like, sit down, we need to increase your goals. I felt like, whoa, why are you fucking me, man? I'm getting ready to chill. And he said, stop. Because we were cool like that. He said, this is what kills a lot of good salesmen. They hit plan, then they coast. You hit plan, then you crank it up again. And then you hit the new plan and you crank it up again. It teaches you how to consistently work hard without a stick or a carrot. You're self-driven. You don't need a carrot. You don't need a stick. It's a habit for you to work hard, and it becomes a habit for you to produce. When you develop those 2 habits, the world is yours. You could go anywhere in the world and be okay. And that's a wonderful thing to develop for yourself. So that's my advice to you. That's my advice to anyone that's an entrepreneur. If you don't have a relationship and you're trying to start a business, table it. Don't get one because they're going to be butt hurt because it's 11 o'clock at night Saturday and they're like, you're working? And what they're really saying is, you don't miss me? And it's not like you don't miss them, but you've got this goal, this dream, this thing that you want to do, and people in the matrix just don't understand because they're used to that fake steak. They're used to fake comfort. There's no such thing as comfort. You, me, we all are vulnerable. Every last one of us. There's no such thing as comfort. That's why I keep working hard. I keep striving. I keep raising the goals. Because, hey, I'm scared. Straight up, I'm scared. I'm running scared because I know from experience what can happen to me if I blink. I was homeless for a short period of time. Moved into a boarding house in the West End. One guy, we call him Preacher. I thought he was a straight up dude. He was one of the biggest drug addicts I've ever seen. All kind of stuff that I saw. Because when I fell, it wasn't like doo-doo. It was like my whole life was rocked. And I'm grateful for the experience because I have perspective. And like many of you, you don't really know what it's like to be ass out. You can go to your mama's house, your daddy's house, or brother's I didn't have that. And I'm going to tell you something else, because I was talking to my mom about it, and my mom said, you can come home. And the exact words that came out of my mouth was, if I don't figure this out, I'm going to become worthless as a man. So I'm going to ride this shit out. It was horrible. It was hard, but I'm glad I did it. Because I have a feeling if I went home, I would still be there. That was a scary thing. To be a 40-some-year-old man living with your mother, not for living with your mother, because there's a lot of dudes that have mom living with them and they're taking care of mom, and that's a beautiful thing. But to become a grown-ass child and have to move back into your mother's or your father's house is a debilitating thing. You're just castrating yourself as a man, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I know people have to do what they have to do, but that's one of the reasons I'm this asshole that say all this shit on YouTube, and I'm arrogant as fuck, because I went through the fire. The fire. Not the fake fire, not just a little warming up. My nuts got roasted. I had to rebuild myself. I had to fucking put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Pieces all over the street. So that's why I talk all this stuff, because I know when the shit gets tough, I'll be okay. Because I went through that shit. And let me say, I don't want you to go through that shit. I hope you never do. Because honestly, from the whining and the bitching I've seen on YouTube, a lot of you won't make it. So I hope you stay blessed. I hope that never happens to you, because hard times do not develop character. Hard times uncover what's already there. All right, this is Glendon. I'll see you on the good side.